In the cradle of Macedon, a boy was born who would one day dream beyond empires. His name is Alexander. His destiny is boundless. Tutored by Aristotle, his childhood was filled not with toys, but with philosophy and ambition. As others studied maps, he envisioned unity. He learned of Homer's heroes and vowed to outlive them in glory. His mind was a blend of reason and fire, logic tempered by divine madness. When his father, King Philip II, was slain, Alexander inherited more than a throne, he inherited a dream. A world without borders, bound by courage, knowledge, and will. Before 20, he led armies. Before 30, he conquered the known world. Yet even then, he sought not just to rule it, but to understand it. Before the sword, there was the scroll. Before conquest, contemplation. Under Aristotle, Alexander learned ethics, logic, medicine, and poetry. His teacher taught him that wisdom was a king's truest armor. From philosophy, he learned restraint. From science, curiosity. He studied the stars and wondered if destiny was written among them. Knowledge, to him, was not leisure. It was weapon and a guide. To rule the world, Aristotle said, you must first rule yourself. Alexander took those words to heart. His library grew alongside his empire, his curiosity outpacing his conquest. Though his sword would carve history, it was his mind that gave it meaning. For even the world's greatest general once bowed before thought. In fire and thunder, he shattered the mightiest empire the world had known. At Issus and Gaugamela, his armies stood against the colossal forces of Darius III. Outnumbered, outmatched, yet unshaken. Strategy became symphony, courage, his creed. He moved like lightning, swift and deliberate, his soldiers worshipping his will. When Darius fell, Alexander wept, not for victory, but for the fall of a worthy rival. In Persia's palaces, he saw not wealth, but wisdom. He wore Persian robes, learned their customs, and called their nobles brothers. He conquered their land, but sought to unite their hearts. For Alexander did not want to destroy civilizations. He wanted to fuse them into one. His empire was a sword forged in ideals. Alexander did not dream of conquest, he dreamed of harmony. He envisioned a world where East and West met not in war, but in wisdom. In Babylon, he planned a new capital, a crossroads of culture. He encouraged his soldiers to marry Persian women, blending nations through blood, not battle. He declared all men his kin, no race or religion superior. To him, unity was destiny, and diversity, its strength. But such dreams frightened kings more than armies ever could. While men can conquer land, few can conquer their own prejudice. Alexander's true war was not fought with spears, but with the divisions of mankind. Rest was death to him, and the horizon, his only home. From Egypt's sands to India's rivers, he marched like a storm, guided by purpose. Each victory was followed not by rest, but by wonder. In Egypt, he founded Alexandria, a city for knowledge, not war. In Persia, he studied the stars. In India, he learned humility from sages. He chased the edges of the known world, seeking not gold, but understanding. When his soldiers begged to turn back, he looked to the horizon and whispered, "What lies beyond?" He was not merely a conqueror, he was a seeker of infinity. For his battlefield was not land, but the limits of the human spirit. In the land of the Indus, Alexander met men who feared neither death nor kings. The gymnosophists, philosophers of the East, lived with nothing, needing nothing. Curious, Alexander asked one, "Why do you live so simply?" The sage replied, "Because I seek only what cannot be taken." In that moment, the conqueror was conquered, not by armies but by wisdom. He offered them gold, they laughed. He offered them freedom, they asked, "From what?" These men showed him that mastery of self was greater than mastery of worlds. For the first time, Alexander saw that power had a horizon, but knowledge did not. The king who ruled millions bowed before the man who ruled himself. He built cities not to control, but to connect. Alexandria, his greatest legacy, became the beacon of civilization. Scholars, traders, and thinkers from every land gathered under its sun. It was the first global city, a meeting of languages, philosophies, and dreams. Here, Greek logic met Egyptian art, Persian wisdom met Indian science. Alexander's vision lived in its streets, a living dialogue between worlds. Though he would not live to see its library rise, his idea had already taken root. The city became his immortal body, its knowledge, his soul. While empires crumble, ideas endure. He had conquered the world, but could not conquer restlessness. Each victory left him emptier, each horizon closer to exhaustion. His friends saw a god, he saw a man trapped in destiny's grip. He began to question the meaning of his own dream. Was he chosen by fate or enslaved by it? Nights in Babylon grew long and haunted. He drank not for pleasure, but to silence the gods he carried inside. Glory had become a chain, and ambition a shadow. He had united the world, yet stood utterly alone. The conqueror of nations could not conquer himself. And in that realization, his legend became human. At 32, the man who united 3 continents was undone by fever, not by sword. As he lay dying, he whispered of plans yet unfulfilled, journeys, not wars. His generals asked, "To whom do you leave your empire?" He answered simply, "To the strongest." And with that, the dream fractured. His friends became rivals, his unity a map divided by greed. The conqueror who dreamed of one world left behind many, yet his death was not a defeat. His flame, too bright for time, became the torch of ages. For even in death, Alexander remained eternal, a mortal who defied mortality by daring to dream. Though his body turned to dust, his idea transcended it. Greek art reached India, Persian thought shaped Greece. Cultures once enemies now share gods, sciences, and stories. The Hellenistic world became his invisible kingdom, a realm of ideas instead of armies. His dream of unity survived not through politics, but philosophy. Alexander taught the world a lesson every empire forgets, that conquest of hearts outlives the conquest of lands. He was gone, but the bridges he built still stood, across centuries, across civilizations. The king's empire perished, but his vision became humanity's. Alexander's true greatness lay not in his sword, but in his curiosity. He carried with him scholars, cartographers, and philosophers, an army of thinkers as mighty as his warriors. He mapped rivers unknown, measured distances never crossed, and sought knowledge wherever he went. His march was an expedition of discovery, not domination. He treated knowledge as the true treasure of conquest. In his journals, he pondered ethics, destiny, and eternity. To him, wisdom was the empire no man could divide. Long after his cities fell, his spirit continued, in every thinker who sought to unite what the world divides. History turned him into legend, yet legend could not contain his truth. Some called him a god, while others called him a devil, yet neither saw the man who sought to understand creation. He was the paradox of humanity, destroyer and dreamer, tyrant and philosopher. His shadow stretched across continents, but his gaze remained fixed on the horizon. He embodied both the brilliance and the blindness of ambition. The world remembers his victories, but his true legacy lies in the question he left behind. Can power serve wisdom? Alexander's life answered it, imperfectly, beautifully, eternally.